I call to order the City Officers Electoral Board of the City of Alton for January 22nd, 2013. Call roll, please.
Fleming.
Here.
Gregg.
Here.
Bowles. 3 present, no absent.
Okay, we are now reconvened, and I'll turn things over to Mr. Shrimp at this time.
My name is Jim Shrimp. I'm the city's attorney. I also serve as the attorney for this electoral board.
It sounds like the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, ma'am.
Please state your name for the record.
Don Roshan.
Where do you live?
Let's see, it's 630 Langdon, Alton.
And are you a duly qualified, registered, and legal voter at that address?
Yes, I am.
And did you, in fact, file a objection to the nominating petition for Mr. Walker?
Yes, I did.
And why did you do so?
Well, it's one of my pet peeves that people running for office or who are in office and haven't paid taxes. For example, the lady in St. Louis that was appointed to enforce personal property tax payment hadn't paid her own taxes, neither had her husband. That's the kind of thing that irritates me, gets my attention, and that's why I found I was apprised that this man hadn't paid his taxes. I had you check it out for me. That's the way it came out, and so that's why I objected.
You also asked me to look into the payment of trash and sewer bills.
You did, at my request.
Okay. And that's why you filed this petition.
That's correct.
Nothing further?
Ms. Williams?
In your objector's petition, you filed that verified and under oath, is that correct?
I can't, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, here.
I would hear
Yes,
you.
you can approach the witness or stay in your seat, whatever it's called.
Your petition that you filed was a verified petition, is that correct?
I believe it was.
Okay, and so you filed that under oath, that everything in your petition was true and accurate to the best of your knowledge, is that correct?
Yes, except I think count one got changed because of a mistake. But
Once you found out about the mistake, you withdrew
Right.
that objection, correct? Okay. And you based the petition on information that you received from Mr. Emmons, is that correct?
I did.
Okay. Can you please open the white exhibit book in front of you and turn to Exhibit H?
H.
H. Can you please identify that exhibit?
Says it's an Illinois American Water Company statement created 12/27/12 pertaining to transactions dated August through December of '08.
And what's the address located on that document?
Looks like it says 100 Brown Street.
Is that the billing address? What's the address of the premises? I'm sorry. I might approach it.
It could be, if it's like 6 or 67.
Yes. Is where the service is located?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is that address where the service is actually being performed?
That's what it looks like.
And is this the document that you were referring to that led you to believe there was money due and owing to the city of Alton?
This was one of several, and this may be the one that the mistake was made as to count one. I don't remember that.
So as Exhibit H sits there right now, it is incorrect, and you acknowledge that Exhibit H is incorrect, is that right?
I am told that it is incorrect, and so as I understand, it's already been ruled out here, so I guess it was incorrect.
Okay. Can you now please refer to Exhibit M? And can you please identify that exhibit?
It's another Illinois American Water bill. It says for garbage service transactions July of '07 to December of 2012 on property at 1000 Marie Street, Alton.
Okay. And is this the exhibit that you used when you, in your counts 2 and 3, to establish that there was an amounts due and owing to Mr. Walker?
I believe so.
Okay. And is it the same exact printout as Exhibit H?
Is it what?
Is it the same type of printout as Exhibit H?
Certainly similar.
Is it similar? How did you receive that printout?
I think I got it from Cliff, I think.
And are you aware of how Mr. Emmons received the printout?
I don't know, he sought it at my request, but I don't know how he did it. That's why I let him do it, he knows how to do stuff like that, and I don't do this kind of law. So.
You don't know how he got it, okay. And what made you actually look into these two accounts along with Mr. Walker's tax accounts?
Maybe look into it. I'm sure, as I sit here, that where I have coffee every morning, we have a morning coffee group, that there are several folks that show up there. I think it came on the heels of the matter I referred to about the lady in St. Louis that didn't pay her personal property taxes and the bankruptcy and whatnot. And so we talk about things like this at coffee, and I'm sure that this came up probably from the mayor himself, because he occasionally sits with us, not every day, but maybe a couple times a week or so I would see him. He may very well have brought that up, and that's why I had Cliff check it out, because I was curious.
So the mayor of Alton is the one that informed you of these possible issues?
I think that's true. I think that's where I got my original information.
Okay. And do you know how the mayor would have come to obtain that information?
No, I have no idea.
And what is your current profession, Mr. Groshans?
I'm a lawyer,
And are you licensed in the state of Illinois?
40 years.
You've been licensed for 40 years? Congratulations
Well,
on that.
Yeah,
And as a licensed attorney in the state of Illinois, you're considered an officer of the court?
correct.
Is that correct? And are you also considered an expert in the legal field in regard to legal proceedings?
There would be those who would dispute that, I imagine.
Would you consider yourself an expert
On what?
in the law?
I don't think anybody's an expert in the law because it's changing all the time, and nobody can know it all. So I have little areas that I focus in.
As a licensed attorney, are you aware of your obligation when presenting any information to a court of what the court expects of you with the information that you present?
They expect correct and honest information to the extent I'm able.
In your petition, you allege that in counts 4 and 5, that Mr. Walker is ineligible for elected office due to a general homestead tax exemption.
I don't think that's what I said.
Please explain what you said then.
I think what it says is that he didn't pay it. What he does is he claims homesteading in a multitude of properties, which is not permissible under Illinois law. But I don't think that disqualifies him from running for mayor. I think it should, but I don't think the law does disqualify him. I don't agree with the law every time like anybody else does, but I think that's one of the things I don't agree with. I think it should disqualify him.
So as you're sitting here today, you acknowledge that Illinois does not find someone ineligible for office for payments that are due because of a homestead tax exemption? Or do you agree that counts 4 and 5 have no standing?
Objection. Calls for a legal conclusion and an analysis of a case. There's this Illinois Supreme Court case. We acknowledge that one exists. We, however, think it was improperly decided. We also think that there was not a proper record made of that case at the local level, and that if the court would look at this again, they would see that the amounts of taxes that are paid to a county are actually paid to the county as a fiduciary and are being paid directly to the city of Alton. You make a payment at the treasurer's office, that the treasurer immediately earmarks funds for specific accounts. We think the Supreme Court case is wrong.
On the objection as to Mr. Grosham's opinion on the law, I think I have to sustain the objection. I don't see his opinion being relevant.
May I speak to your objection?
Yes, sir.
As Mr. Grosham previously testified to, he is a licensed attorney in the state of Illinois. Under any court that we're going to go into, as a licensed attorney, he is considered an expert, and he does have the right to state a legal conclusion, and he also has the ability to explain the Supreme Court case and what his opinion is as an expert.
If in fact he has expertise in that area, which I think if you want to ask further questions, you could find that he does not.
As the person who filed this petition and put in the objection that this was an issue, as an attorney, he should have done the research necessary to be able to answer this question. He knows what his ethical duty is to this tribunal and to a court.
I think he's answered that question. Let's back up. I'll sustain the first objection, but I'm not cutting you off, Ms. Williams. You want to try some other avenue?
So, this is what we'll do. Can you please turn to Exhibit T?
Season trial?
T as in train. T.
This
T.
T.
T. As in Thomas. Can you identify what that exhibit is?
Looks like a Supreme Court opinion in a case called Jackson versus Board of Election Commissioners.
Okay, and before you filed your petition, had you read this opinion?
No, I had my lawyer, the legal research. This isn't my area of law to practice in.
I understand that. When you filed your petition, though, you filed it and you signed it under oath saying that everything was true and accurate to the best of your knowledge.
I was aware of what this case held.
You are aware of it. Can you please turn to page 2 of that opinion in paragraph 3 and read to us what the Supreme Court held?
It says, for the
Objection.
reasons that follow, we hold.
It says what, it's admitted, it says what it says, he doesn't.
It has been admitted, and I think I'll sustain the objection.
Here, let me go a little bit further. He had an attorney. He and I discussed the fact that this case exists and that we don't think it's right. I mean, and that's the basis upon which we have brought this case.
So, as one final question, do you acknowledge that the Supreme Court has preeminency to declare what they believe at the time is valid or invalid law?
Actually, it's the United States Supreme Court, not this court, but for the purposes of Illinois,
For the purpose of Illinois law?
you're right, except it's never final. I can go in and I can ask a court to overturn prior precedent. They've done that to me more than once, where they changed the law, and so it's always in a state of flux.
I understand that, but do you acknowledge that as of the date of this opinion in September of 2012, the Supreme Court has stated that money due and owed to a county for a general homestead tax exemption is not a reason to find a candidate ineligible for
I
office?
think the case says exactly what it says. It speaks for itself.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Raise your right hand, ma'am. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Would you state your name for the record, please?
Sonia Metcalf,
And where do you reside?
2924 Buena Vista, Alton, Illinois.
And are you employed?
I am.
And who are you employed by?
I work for American Water,
And how long have you worked for American Water?
12 years.
Okay. I put before you some documentation that we received from the Illinois American Water Company in regard to a subpoena. Did you have any, did you assemble that information?
I did not.
Okay. And you have had a chance to review it, is that correct?
I have had a chance to review it.
And we had a conversation on Friday. Ms. Williams was in the office and I was on speakerphone, correct?
Yes.
And these documents that have been admitted reflect the water company's records related to various properties.
Yes.
The very first page, there's a 60.
Are you on Exhibit 11?
I'm on Exhibit 11, yes. All right. I'm going to refer you to actually, it's page 3 of 1000 Marie Street. It's about 3 or 4 pages in. All right.
Is it after the...
Here, let me show you this one. This is actually the number 11, Exhibit 11. First of all, I'm going to refer you to 1000 Marie Street.
Okay.
First thing on page 3 of this printout as to 1000 Marie, there's an entry on April the 29th, 2009, and it's referred to as a BD, is that correct?
That is correct.
And what does that mean?
That would be a bad debt.
Okay, and so there was an amount of $161.32 written off by the water company as a bad debt on that date?
Correct.
And that's in regard to 1000 Marie Street in Alton, Illinois.
Yes, it is.
And I refer you to another entry on November the 25th, 2009. There's another entry, BD, in the amount of $142.16. What does that represent?
That is a bad debt amount.
And again, it's for that same property.
Correct.
And the second one I referred to, there's an account name. Can you identify that?
Damon Riddlespringer?
Okay. And there's a name that was associated with the first amount of the bad debt.
That is a Brant Walker.
I think it's,
Amanda Kessler?
yeah. Isn't that how you read it?
I apologize, I'm not familiar with this format of our ledger. But yes, if we're reading down correct, that would be
Right.
the account holder, so Amanda Kessler.
Right, not Brant Walker.
Correct.
Okay. And
I'm sorry, I object to anything coming in on Amanda Kessler. There was no objection made that had to deal with Ms. Kessler at all.
that's fine.
So anything that has to do with her, I'd ask if it can be stricken from the record.
Mr. Evans?
It's okay.
All right.
That's fine.
Sustained.
Could you explain the process under, or whereby the water company wrote debt off in regard to the Alton accounts?
That actually is not my line of expertise, I just know a general follow-up is that we have a standard collections process that we follow, that once an account is closed, we attempt to collect for a certain period of time. Once those collections are not met, we actually will consider it to be a charged off or a bad debt account in our system. At that point, we've attempted to collect all the monies that we possibly can at that time and choose to write it off in our system.
And then you send that information to the city of Alton?
If there are any contract utilities associated with that, that is correct.
Okay. And that's what occurred here apparently, is that at some point in time, the water company's efforts to collect these amounts, or this amount on this real Springer, were unsuccessful, therefore you notified the city of Alton as to your cessation of those
Correct.
collection efforts. And then do you know what happens to that amount after it leaves your office?
I do not.
I'm going to refer you to page 1 here. And this is in regard to 1000 Marie Street, right?
Correct.
And what we can, first of all, the reason we're here is that Mr. Walker filed a petition on December 17th to be a candidate for the mayor of Alton. On December the 17th, 2012, does this exhibit indicate that there were amounts due on water, trash, and sewer for 1000 Marie Street in Alton, Illinois?
Under the account of David Watt, it seems, yes, that there would be a balance owed.
Right, David Wyatt.
Wyatt?
Right. Okay. And there's no question in your mind that on that date, December the 17th, 2012, that David Wyatt owed amounts on property located at 1000 Marie Street, Alton.
Correct.
Okay. Now, looking at this, can you tell whether or not those charges are current charges or whether they're late or?
I cannot, looking at this document here.
Okay. If I show you a statement made to David Wyatt for 1000 Marie Street that shows a due date of December 7th, 2012, does that help?
It does note on the statement with the due date of December 7th, there was a prior balance of $65.08 owed.
Okay. And that actually the entire balance due on December 7th was $137.11.
Correct.
And does that correlate with a entry on page 1 that we were just looking at?
Yes, if it, back to the bill, sorry.
Okay.
Page that was on, sorry. Wrong tab, I apologize. Yes, it does show the payment and the balance owed.
Okay, so that, we're looking at this statement that has a billing date of November 16th,
Correct.
and it was due December 7th, and it was due in the amount of $137.11, and on December 17th, 2012, that had not been paid, is that correct?
As of December 17th, that is correct.
Now, part of it had been
There
paid,
has been a partial payment of
but the
water.
entire bill was not
The
paid.
entire bill was not paid.
And what does LTC mean?
That is a late charge?
And that late charge was put on this account on the 13th of
Correct.
December, correct?
Yes.
And that bill clearly shows that the service was provided to 1000 Marie Street in Alton, correct?
Yes.
One of the things we discussed Friday was the fact that the water company is in the process of turning over the billing of utilities, including sewer, trash, and water to the city of Alton itself. Is that correct?
We are turning over our trash and our sewer billing service back to the city of Alton.
Okay,
We'll be maintaining, Illinois American Water will be maintaining the water billing.
Okay, so could you explain the process of this turnover?
The process of the turnover was, we had a contract with the city to perform the billing on their behalf. It was an enterprise decision to get back to our core service, which is our water service. At that point, we have terminated the service agreement between the city. As part of that process, we completed billing utilities on behalf of the city of Alton. With that, we then provided them general database, again, standard enterprise-wide database of accounts and any billing information they would need to establish a new system for themselves.
It was my understanding that up until Friday, the water company was continuing to collect monies for the city of Alton related to sewer and trash.
Correct.
And that I found out today that the water company turned over records regarding delinquent accounts for sewer and trash yesterday. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Okay.
Those were our final account balance information.
Okay, so up until yesterday, would the city of Alton been in a position to know what accounts were delinquent related to sewer and trash?
Yes, we still continued our collection reports and collection efforts as we had prior.
But they wouldn't have any final balances as to delinquent accounts until yesterday?
The true-up took place over the weekend, correct.
Nothing further.
So up until, when did Alton start taking over the billing for sewer and trash?
We suspended our billing. Our end date for the charges for sewer and trash ended October 31st. We did put those charges on bills through November. So if you received a partial bill during the middle of the month, it was, through October 31st for the trash and sewer charges.
And during all of the years that Illinois American Water has provided the billing services for sewer and trash, how was the information transmitted to the city of Alton so that they would know what was due and what had been paid?
We have an electronic format that they're able to, they have a portal they can log into. The reports are provided on a monthly basis.
So from any monthly basis, they had access to know what exactly was due and owing to the city, if anything, on every property.
Yes.
And so as of November 1st, the city knew what was due and owing on every property in Alton.
Yes.
And did all departments have access to that portal that you just referenced? Do you know?
Within the city hall, I don't know exactly what departments they're considered, but I have, usernames is how I would refer them to.
Do you know if the comptroller's office and Stephanie Elliott has access to that portal?
Yes.
Do you know if Cindy Rock and the treasurer's office have access to that portal?
Yes.
So at any point in time, the city of Alton has the ability to pull up an address and see if any money is due in owing.
Yes,
And that included November 1st of this year, of
correct.
2012.
Yes.
You previously testified to the fact that some past due bills were left on and that you guys were responsible for those, is that correct?
Correct.
And how did that agreement come about, that that's how the billing would work?
The end date versus the collection date?
Yes.
As far as just various, I would say, development conference calls that were held with the programmer of the city and Illinois American Water.
And was there ever anything put in writing that that was the agreement between the city of Alton and Illinois American Water?
Not to the collection end date, no.
And when you guys had these conversations, didn't you in fact actually give talking points to the city of Alton to issue to their citizens so that they would understand how this was working?
I'm not for sure if I was not part of the entire communications plan. We had our general talking points, what we would consider bullet points or bill messages had been provided, and also to our customer service center.
And what did Illinois American Water provide as notice to customers as to this billing transfer?
They were called bill print messages. They included notification to customers of receipt of their final bill, collection dates. It was a series, I believe there were 3 bill print messages on the bills themselves.
I'm going to hand you what I have marked as Exhibit U. And can you please read to the court the note that's on this bill message in regards? It starts with, please note billing change.
Please note billing change starting November 1st, 2012. Your sewer and trash charges will start being billed by the city of Alton. You will continue to receive your monthly Illinois American Water bill, but your sewer and trash bill will be mailed to you from the city of Alton. For questions about your water bill, call Illinois American Water at 1-800-422-2782. For questions about your sewer and/or trash bill, please contact the city of Alton at 618-463-3550.
So there's no notification within this message regarding the billing date or any past due balances?
Correct.
Okay. So that was up to the city of Alton to inform their citizens of that, correct?
I can't answer to that.
I'll return. When you referred to Mr. Riddlespringer's account and you said that it was written off, can you explain what a write-off means?
A write-off would be that American Water has attempted to collect the monies to their fullest extent and then have made a decision to what we would consider charge off the balances, charge off the account in our system.
And when you charge off an account, what's the effect of that? What effect does that have on Illinois American Water and the city of Alton?
For Illinois American Water, it would be considered a loss of revenue.
And that's written off on your taxes, is that correct?
I'm not for sure of that process.
And before anything would have been written off, would you have had to seek the approval of the city of Alton before writing off an amount due and owing to them?
There is not an approval process for the write-off for the city of Alton.
Can you describe for us, if a customer calls in and requests account information, what is Illinois American Water's procedure in releasing that information over the telephone?
I am not in our customer service center. I can give you our general guidelines is that account information is released to the account holder or what we consider to be a third party on the account.
And how is someone a third party on an account?
The account holder themselves has to approve someone being on the account for information. So they would actually, the account holder would have to request an additional name be put on the account for information purpose only.
So for the accounts that you looked at that are to the customer name of David Wyatt, and Demad Riddlesberger, would Mr. Walker have been able to access that account information if he was not listed on the account?
No, not if he's not listed.
Is there any way he can access that account as the landowner with Illinois American Water?
There is a voluntary form, if it had been filled out and applied, that would be required of the tenant's signature.
So the tenant actually has to give the permission. Without the tenant's permission, you cannot release that information.
Correct.
And just so we're clear, a landlord cannot just call and get the information without the tenant's approval. Is that right?
Correct.
So even though the final account balance officially was given yesterday, as of November 1st, the city did have account balances that were due and owing. Is that correct?
Correct.
I have no further questions.
Just a few follow-up. How did that work in November? If you got a payment, is the city immediately notified that someone is paid on a delinquent account?
Yes, there's reporting notification. There is a report they can access on a daily basis that's real-time data pulled from our billing system.
And how are those indexed? By address or customer name or number? Or how?
There are several options you can choose. You can go by service address, name, premise number, account number.
I mean, it wouldn't be unusual to think that there's going to be some confusion in the interim period between November 1st, when you stop billing and but you keep collecting for delinquent accounts, and what the city of Alton knows on a daily basis. Would that be safe to say?
In regards to?
Well, who's delinquent, who's made a payment on the delinquent account? It's pretty hard to track, wouldn't you say?
I mean, tracking for who? For Illinois American Water?
For the city.
I'm not for sure if they're,
Well, here.
I don't know their delinquency tracking
Okay,
process.
sure. I mean, here, on November 1st, they sent out a bill that says that they're $40 delinquent on sewer. And it's possible that $40 could have been collected not by the city, but by the water company, correct?
That is correct.
And that was up till last Friday.
Correct.
Okay. And the only way for the city to know that would be to daily check each individual account to see whether or not a payment was made to the water company on a delinquent sewer bill?
Yes.
Okay. And do you have any idea how many accounts the city of Alton has? Sewer and water? Any idea?
Current or
Current.
delinquent or?
Current. Well, no, I mean just number of accounts.
We were current, I mean, I don't have an exact number. I mean, we approximately billed everyone within the city of Alton
And
for
how many people would that
trash
be?
charge. I believe it was 30,000 bills, I'm trying to think.
About 12,000.
Okay, 12,000?
So there's 12,000 bills being sent out by the city of Alton that may be collected by the water company.
Correct.
For a period of 4 months, 3 months. November, December, and part of January, 2.5.
Part of January.
Okay. Let me ask you about that third-party situation that you were talking about. What is that program designed for?
The program is designed for exactly what it says. It's third-party notification. It is designed to allow not only the account holder to obtain or possibly make payment information.
Okay. For example, if I'm a landlord and I own various properties in the city of Alton, and I want to be able to know whether or not my tenant is paying their bills, I can sign up for this third-party program with the tenant's consent.
The account holder would have to add you as a third party.
Okay.
Out of all of the customers that you're aware of, how many landlords have actually are listed as third parties on accounts?
I have fewer than 8 that I have knowledge of.
And is that in the city of Alton, or is that in Madison County?
The city of Alton.
The city of Alton, there's fewer than 8 accounts that have a landlord listed.
Correct.
Nothing further.
I might have missed something. I was trying to keep notes. Going back to the Marie Street property, Cap, did you specify the critical date of being December 17th? do the records reflect that Marie had a delinquency on sewer and water fees to the city of Alton on December 17th?
The exhibit indicates there is a total balance owed of $72.03 for 1000 Marie Street.
And can you tell if any of that is overdue or delinquent?
From the display here, due to balance being owed with the bill date, yes, it would indicate that it is delinquent.
And that was 7203. That's the part I didn't do the arithmetic quick enough. Thank you. Any further questions on that follow-up? Ms. Wade?
Just one further question. When we were in your office on Friday, we had discussed a property also located at 606 East 7th Street, which the information, that count has been withdrawn today. The ledgers that were provided by Illinois American Water also indicated that on December 17th, there was an amount due and owing, and that's been found to be incorrect. Can you guarantee that those documents provided by Illinois American Water are true and accurate?
Yes.
Could you guarantee that the documents you provided on 606 East 7th Street are true and accurate?
Correct.
Can I have you return to Exhibit B in the white book, please? Can you identify Exhibit B?
It is a customer statement for 606 East 7th Street for Brant Walker.
And this is a bill that's issued by Illinois American Water, is that correct?
Yes.
And it shows that a balance was due of $173.18, is that correct?
Yes.
Can I now please have you turn to Exhibit D?
D is in dog?
Yes. Can you please identify that exhibit?
That is a billing statement, again, for 606 East 7th Street for Brant Walker.
And on this billing statement, it shows the previous balance was $173.18, which you saw in the other bill, and it shows a payment only of $124.68. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, could I have you turn to Exhibit E? Can you identify that exhibit?
This is it's like a notification sent from Illinois American Water for Brant Walker for service at 606 East 7th Street.
And this again indicates that there was a payment made of $124.68 and not the $173. Is that correct?
Yes.
Leaving a balance of the $48.50.
Yes.
Can I have you turn to Exhibit F, as in Frank? Can you identify that exhibit?
A billing statement for service to 1001 Brown Street for Brant Walker.
And what is the amount due and owing on that bill for these same billing periods?
Current total amount due is $124.68.
Okay. And if you turn back to Exhibit E, it shows that a payment of $124.68 was credited to 606 East 7th Street, but that was actually due and owing to 1001 Brown Street. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And now if you look at Exhibit G, can you please identify that exhibit?
That is a letter sent on behalf of Brant Walker at service at 1001 Brant Street.
And when you look at this, the payment of $173.18 was actually credited to 1001 Brown Street, so it has a credit of the $48.50.
Correct.
So those two accounts, the payments were misapplied and no money was actually due and owing as of December 17th. Isn't that correct?
Correct.
So the ledgers, the initial ledgers that you sent us on 606 East 7th Street showing there was a balance due were incorrect?
It reflected that at the time.
Okay. So again, my question is, can you guarantee that the bills from 1000 Marie Street are correct after you've seen the fact that the ones you issued on 606 East 7th, there was a mistake made?
And there was a payment mistake made, correct.
Okay, so can you guarantee that 1000 Marie Street, those are absolutely correct?
Yes.
And how can you guarantee that?
With the combination of the data provided.
Okay, so when we look at, you look at, on first page of what is Mr. Emmons' Exhibit 11, it is your ledger for 6067. And that ledger indicates on December the 5th that there was a balance due of $48.50, which we just established was incorrect. Is that right?
At the time, with the payment being applied in the manner, that was the correct balance at the time.
Even though it was the water company's mistake.
That is what is showing on the statement.
Okay. So in regards to the Wyatt's bill, is there any way to guarantee that there isn't some kind of clerical mistake that has occurred on the Wyatt's bill?
I can't answer to that.
I don't know.
Just one last thing on the Wyatt, on the one we looked at that showed a balance due on December the 17th. Can you look at that? It's a couple pages. The next bit. Did Mr. Wyatt, when was the last time he had a zero balance?
Prior to what date?
Prior to January 1st.
Prior to January 1st, it was June 18th of 2012.
So the records show that Mr. Wyatt had some sort of balance due from in excess of zero from June through the month of December 2012.
Correct.
Thank you.
I have no further questions.
Please, sir, do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Please state your name for the record.
Brant Walker,
And where do you reside?
1304 State Street in Alton, Illinois.
And how long have you lived in Illinois, in Alton?
19 years, almost 20 years.
And if you review the property records here in Madison County, it appears that you have, over the course of your living here, owned several properties here in the city of Alton.
That's correct.
And some of them are rental properties,
Correct.
and they're residential rental properties.
One is commercial / residential. It's a combination of offices.
Okay. 1000 Marie in Alton, what kind of property is that?
Residential.
Okay. And you acquired that property on January 7th of 2010, is that correct?
No, I think it was before 2010. I think it goes back to 2008, I think.
And do you own property located at 1255 West 9th Street?
Yes, sir.
And what kind of property is that?
It's residential.
And do you know when you purchased that?
I think it was July of 2009. It was June or July. It was summer of 2009.
Okay. When you purchased the property on Marie Street, was it occupied?
Yes, sir.
And do you recall who the tenant was when you purchased it?
I think it was Mr. and Mrs. Alsmeyer, if I'm saying their name correctly.
That's who you bought it from, correct?
Oh, yeah, they lived there a long time.
Right. And they lived there at that time?
Yes, sir.
And after you purchased the property from them, did they move out?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did they move out fairly quickly after your purchase?
Within a reasonable amount of time. They were an older couple, so it took, within reason they moved out. They did the best job they could as quickly as they could, yes.
Okay. And then, according to your response, did you then rent the property to Mr. Wyatt?
No.
No? Okay. Who lived in the property after Alton?
I think it may have been I wasn't looking at this as one, but I believe it was Bobby Smith, and Mr. Smith was next.
Okay. And who after that?
I believe it was the Kesslers.
Okay. Would that been Amanda?
Yes,
And who after the Kesslers?
the Wyatts.
Okay. At any time, did a Mr. Riddlespringer live in the property?
No, sir.
Okay. Your attorney has reviewed with you the documents that we received from the water company in regard to 1000 Marie, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and did she show you that there were some bills?
According to the water company's bills, which I did not have access to, it appears that there may be a balance, or there may not be a balance of it on the property.
Well, here, let me go back. I'm asking about Mr. Riddlespringer.
They never lived there.
Do you have any properties, any other property in Alton that he lived at?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you know who he is?
I do not.
Okay. Mr. Wyatt lives there with his wife.
Yes, sir.
And do you know when they moved in?
It was August or September of 2009.
And at that time, did you get an occupancy permit for them?
The Wyatts? Yes, sir.
And for the other tenants that lived there prior to that, were there occupancy permits issued?
Yes.
Okay. And so you're familiar with the procedure related to the occupancy permit here in the city of Alton, correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you aware of the city ordinances related to the trash and sewer billing that we referenced in our objection?
Yes.
Okay. And are you aware that both of those ordinances provide that the landlord is jointly and severally liable with their tenant for any sewer and trash charges for a specific property?
That's why I always contact the city and make sure there are no balances due.
Okay. So you understand that, right?
Yeah.
In fact, you have in the past paid balances that were owed for your tenants in order to get new occupancy permits for the current tenants.
Anytime I am made aware of a balance due on my property from the city, I pay it immediately.
Okay, and generally the way you find that out is by the occupancy permit process.
Yeah, the city will not issue an occupancy permit if there's any balance owed and due in the city at that time. That's why when someone moves out, we go to the city, we go to the comptroller's office, they say, oh, there's a balance, we go to building and zoning, we get the time schedule, we go downstairs and we pay the bill. Without those bills being satisfied, once the city lets us know, there would not be an occupancy permit issued for the properties.
And have you ever complained to the city that you don't think it's fair that you should be held responsible for your tenants' bills?
Well, it's not ideal, but the amounts are so small, we just kind of pay them, and in the back of my mind, I don't really feel good about it, but somehow I think it goes to the city and it helps run the city, so I'll deal with it.
Okay. Well, your attorney believes she subpoenaed records from the city of Alton. I didn't ever see any evidence that you had written any letters to the city that said, look, I don't think I should be responsible for this tenant's bill on any of the properties that you own.
Anytime the city lets me know that there's a bill, it is paid.
Again, you haven't complained in the past about having to pay your tenants' bills, so I'm getting that.
Yeah, I did, actually.
Okay, who'd you complain to?
The Kesslers.
Okay.
Because the Kesslers, actually, when they moved out, I paid that bill. They still resided in Alton Township, and the bill wasn't even past due. I think the city should have taken the steps necessary to go, especially in that case when they still lived in Alton, the bill was still current, they made me pay. I think the city should have done more to hold the person responsible that incurred the debt. So yes, I did. And I still went ahead and paid it because they wouldn't issue my occupancy permit. And I guess, and to expedite things for $40, did I pay the bill? Yes. Did I complain about it? Yes, I did.
Okay, and that was to the city.
Yes, sir.
Controller's office?
Comptroller and probably building and zoning and the treasurer. I wasn't happy about that one.
Did you ever discuss that with the city attorney? Or
No.
his office?
Mm-mm.
When you filed your petition for candidacy, were you aware of the Illinois state statute that indicates a person's not eligible for municipal office if you're in arrears to the payment to the municipality in which you're running?
The city ordinance says that. Yes, I was.
Oh, state law, or state law.
No, I was not aware of the state statute.
Okay. You heard the testimony of Ms. Metcalf here earlier today, correct? And her testimony was that your tenant at 1000 Marie, David Wyatt, was delinquent in his sewer and trash bills on December 17th, 2012. Do you have any reason to dispute that?
No.
Okay.
Other than I have a statement from the city saying it's current, but I have not seen the water company's bills.
Okay. Did you try to find out whether or not your tenants had any delinquent balances on the date that prior to your filing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how did you do that?
I called the comptroller's office and asked if I owed the city any money, and asked also about my trash bill on Brown Street, because it turned out that I was city trash and I had a dumpster from Mr. Sanders. At that time, I was informed I had no outstanding balances due with the city, and I was informed that the person that could fix the error coming back with regards to trash owed to the city wasn't in, and that I would have to call back because somebody could not fix it in the computer at the time.
Okay, you filed your petition on December 17th, and
Yeah.
that was a Monday, correct?
I believe so.
Do you recall when you called the controller's office to check?
About the week before, once Matt said it was not current,
Well, the week before, the Monday before?
I don't recall. Somewhere between, I don't recall. It was approximately a week before.
Okay. I mean, it wasn't the day of the
No, sir.
filing. Was it the Friday?
I don't recall.
Okay. From talking to your attorney said that you were on a speakerphone, that you had witnesses in the room.
I had 3 people in the room. I don't recall if I was on the speakerphone when I called Matt. Yes, sir.
You do or do not recall whether you were on the speakerphone?
I do not.
Okay. But there were other people that were in the room that heard this conversation?
Correct.
And this was with Stephanie Alton's office?
Yes, sir.
And who in the office?
Matthew, I think.
Matthew?
Yeah.
Matt? You know him now? I mean, he's here.
No, I saw him only one time when I went up to just recently fix the trash situation, which they still didn't have corrected at my
Okay.
office. That's the first time I have met Matthew. I think he reserves himself as Matthew, not Matt.
When you talked to Matt, did you have him look up your tenants too?
I identified myself and asked if I owed the city any money.
Okay. But you are aware that you could be held responsible for the tenant's delinquencies, correct? I'm trying to get at, did you specifically ask?
I asked if I owed the city any money. I was told I did not.
Okay. So you didn't ask him whether David Wyatt owed any money?
I asked if I owed the city any money.
Okay.
And normally, when we walk in and we ask the comptroller's office if we owe money, based on my decade experience restoring properties in Alton, they always say, yes, you do. So I rely on the comptroller's office to give me that information, and they have done so for over a decade.
Okay. When you found out that Mr. Wyatt had a delinquent balance on December 17th, 2012, did you contact him to see whether or not he...
I would object to the fact that you're saying it is a delinquent balance. It hasn't been proven that it was. Other evidence will be submitted that will contest that fact.
I'm sorry, I was taking notes. Would you repeat the question?
I asked him if he, well, I guess you could read it back.
When you found out that Mr. Wyatt had a delinquent balance on December 17, 2012, did you contact him to see whether or not an objection was made?
I mean,
It's yet to be proven that it's-
we've already had testimony from the water company that there was a balance due, a delinquent balance due on 1000 Marie in the name of David Wyatt.
We had testimony from the water company that said their exhibit shows that a balance was due. It has not been proven that there was in fact a delinquent bill. Further evidence is going to be submitted that contests that, and at this point I would request that it not be determined to be a delinquent bill. There's been nothing to prove it at this point.
Let's use the word alleged.
Thank you.
Okay. Did you contact Mr. Wyatt?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, I mean, your lawyer just went, I mean, first of all, we withdrew our objection on 606 because we found out that
There was mistakes.
there was a mistake, right? Okay, and your attorney provided those documents, we looked at them, and we took the objection away. Did you attempt to do that same thing with Mr. Wyatt and this alleged deficiency in regard to 1000 Marie Street?
I contacted the city and asked if I owed any money based on, again, my experience with the city. They said I didn't know. I didn't see the reason to bother Mr. and Mrs. Wyatt about their personal business.
Okay, so the answer is no, you did not contact Mr. Wyatt.
Based on the city sending me money, why would I?
Okay. Well, if he had some document similar to what you had that showed, you showed us that you didn't owe on 606 and we withdrew the objection.
If that's my water bill, I can't have access to Mr. and Mrs. Wyatt's water bill. So I contacted the city. They said, no, why would I bother Mr. and Mrs. Wyatt about their personal bills?
If I thought maybe the water company made a mistake, I might call them to see if
So
they
you're
had any
saying
such
I
information.
can't count on the city's information is what I'm hearing? Because I've relied on the city's information for the last 10 years to be accurate.
Very confused about Damon Riddlespringer.
Me too.
So, yeah, I mean, you've seen the bills that, from the water company that have his name on it?
Since this objection's been filed.
Okay. I mean, there's actually, you know,
They never lived in that property 1 minute. Not 1 second. They never had a key. I went back through my paper, my documentation. There was an application, which I believe we have the application in my
Yes.
office by, I think it's Katrina. Kendria Riddlesberger, and I was going to rent to them. For whatever reason, it didn't work out. They never took occupancy. They never gave me a deposit. They never moved in.
okay. I mean, but in the water company's documentation, there's actually bills here from April
Yeah.
7th, 2009 through September 15th, 2009 that were sent to a Damon Riddlespringer at 1000 Marie Street that indicate that the service was to Damon Riddlespringer at that address and that there were payments made on that account by someone. Do you know whether, did you check your records? Did you make those payments?
I did not make those payments.
Okay.
And I did check my records, and I have one application from a Mrs. Riddlesberger, who did not move in, take occupancy.
Okay. So you have no idea how the water company was possibly billing Damon Riddlespringer for service at 1000 Marie?
I have never met Damon Riddlesberger. His mother came in and put an application.
Okay.
They never moved in, they never took occupancy, they never lived there for 1 second.
Okay. You've had a chance to review the objections, counts 4 and 5 related to real estate taxes. Is
Yes,
that
sir.
correct? And we talked about 1000 Marie Avenue as a property that is rental property.
Yes, sir.
And is it true that there was a general homestead exemption taken in regard to the real estate taxes paid on that property while you owned it?
I didn't take it, and I actually specifically asked, and you have documentation, that it be removed, and for whatever reason, the county didn't take it off. And I never claimed to live there, and I never filed homestead exemption on 1000 Marie Street. And when the Alsmeyers lived there, we were aware of it at closing, we asked for it to be taken off, and I provided you with that documentation.
Are you talking about the deed?
The warranty deed where it was requested to be taken off, yes, sir.
Okay. Well, that's something that the Alton signed, correct?
And I never asked for it back.
Okay.
And
But
I
it was
never
on
asked-
there, right?
Yeah. and-
Okay, you checked into
Yes,
it? There was
yes.
an exemption, okay.
Yeah, so when I know there's someone living in the home and there's exemption, we remove it.
Okay. But you,
I couldn't ask to remove the Alzheimer's homestead exemption because it's not mine. That being said, we did remove it. I never asked the city for occupancy to live at Marie Street, and I never requested that be on my taxes at the county.
but it in fact did appear
It
on the
did appear.
taxes? Okay.
Correct.
And that was from the time that you
Yes.
owned the property on? Now, my understanding is that you went to the county and say, look, I don't live there. and
Once the
corrected this.
suggestion was raised, we corrected it right away, and the taxes were paid.
Okay. And I was provided records by your attorney, and it looks like you paid some additional taxes for the years 2010 and 2011, is that correct?
Yes, when I went to the county and asked them to remove the taxes that day, or not to remove the homestead exemption, I also asked them at that time to recalculate the taxes due on the property since I owned it. I went back and that's what they gave me, and I paid it.
Okay. Do you have any idea why why you didn't correct the 2008 and 2009 tax years?
I asked them to go back and recalculate, I do not. They said they would figure it out, I didn't get it finally calculated until 4 days later, and that's what they told me was owed. So I had to go, again, I asked them again a second time to remove it and ask what the taxes were owed to get the billing current, and that's what they gave me. Even when I went to the county, she said, don't even worry about it, we'll correct it from here forward. So I asked it to be removed. I specifically asked the county to recalculate everything owing on that property and let me know what the balance was. I went up there, they told me what the balance was, I paid it.
Mr. Emmons, I'm lost on when did all this take place?
This took place in January
Once the objection
2013.
was raised, yeah, because I didn't know the homestead was on there, but it was asked to be taken off.
Right. But do you have any idea why the county didn't bill you for the 2008 and 2009 years?
No, sir.
I
I asked them to.
mean, you're aware that the homestead exemption was taken for both of those years? In addition to the 2010 and 11, which you corrected?
Again, I asked the county what I owed, they told me what I owed, I paid the bill. When I get a bill, I pay my bills, Mr. Emmons.
Okay.
Now,
So
that
you
could
don't
be a
know?
question you could ask the county why they did that, but I asked them, and they chose to give me that, and I paid it.
Okay. And the same thing, the same situation occurred. And the same situation occurred in regard to property that you own at 1255 9th Street in Alton, correct?
Yeah, but this situation was different. This property went into foreclosure and sat empty for a long time, and it was a purchase from a foreclosure. When it was foreclosed on, I believe it was Fannie Mae out of Chicago I purchased the property from. There was no person living in the property. Again, no one's living there. I didn't request the city for occupancy to reside in that residence, and I never solicited the county for a homestead exemption.
But you did have the homestead exemption that was given to you on that property,
The
correct?
county left it on there, yes, sir.
Okay, and again, after you found out that there was an improper,
A clerical error.
you didn't live there and you non-titled homestead,
I
so
didn't ask for it.
when you, in 2010 and 2011, you went and paid those taxes too, you corrected that issue?
As soon as the issue was raised and there wasn't a situation with it, yes, I went down to the county, had to drive there to get it taken off, and then ask them what I owed, and I took care of the bill, yes, sir.
Nothing further.
Mr. Walker, in getting preparation and getting prepared to file your nominating petition, what all did you do to prepare for that?
I went to, I can't remember, the treasurer's office, I picked up, excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm getting over a cold. I went to the, I believe it was the treasurer's office and got the nominating petition packet. And I followed that and filed my petitions based on the instructions I was given from the city.
And you also did, as you testified to previously, contact the comptroller's office to make sure that you were current on anything due and owing to the city.
Yes, ma'am.
And they indicated to you that you were current
That's correct.
the week before you filed.
Give or take, yes.
And as you testified to before, there were witnesses to that conversation.
That's correct.
And currently, do you owe any money in your name to the city of Alton?
I do not.
Can you turn to Exhibit I in the white binder? Can you identify that exhibit? I know it's somewhat hard to read.
It's a restoration of utilities service permit from the city.
Okay. And can you take me through the steps of how you're able to obtain such a permit from the city?
Yes, you have to come to the city, or I think now you can call it, when this happened, you come to the city, you go into the comptroller's office, tell them where you're going, you know, what residence it would be at. At that point, they pull the water and sewer bill. They'll tell you, oh, or you don't know. At that point, you go to building and zoning, and you schedule a occupancy inspection, and then you go down to the treasurer's office, I think, and you pay for whatever balances are owed on the sewer and trash, and also the cost of the permit, which I believe was $20 at that time.
And can you turn to the second page of that exhibit?
Yes.
And on there, does it mark pay, that you did pay any money that was due and owing on the
Yes.
residence? And what residence is this at? I apologize for asking.
1,000, I believe it's 1,000 Marie Street.
Okay. And that's indicated on the paperwork?
Yes.
And if you turn to the following page, it's at the Illinois American Water bill that you paid in full for 1,000 Marie Street.
Yes.
If you go 2 pages back more, in fact, is your receipt of payment for any balances due and owing on sewer and trash.
Could I ask on that exhibit, the Illinois American has the redacted information? What has been redacted? Not necessarily the name, but
I redacted on my own the name of the account holder, the account number, and the mailing address for privacy concerns. I didn't want to publicly release that. I was not given permission to release that information by those individuals.
okay. Okay.
But if you will notice, the address is for 1,000 Marie Street for services. And as you previously testified, and I'm sorry, what was the date on these, on this, on your payment for 1,000 Marie Street?
I think January 29th, 2009.
So as of January 29, 2009, 1,000 Marie Street was current on all sewer and trash bills, is that correct?
According to the city, yes.
Okay. And according to Mr. Groshon's objection that he filed, they claim that a Demada Riddlesberger lived at 1,000 Marie Street. Did he ever move into that residence?
He never even put an application in.
The application was the name of Kendra Riddlesberger, is that
That's
correct?
correct.
And she never moved in either.
Correct.
So when was the first time you became aware that there was even a bill in their name for 1,000 Marie Street?
When this objection was filed.
Can you please turn to Exhibit L?
Yes.
And can you identify that exhibit for me?
Application for residential occupancy permit from the city of Alton.
And for what address is that for?
1,000 Marie Street.
And who are the tenants on this application for?
Mr. and Mrs. Wyatt.
And what's the date on that application?
Date was August 14th, 2009, inspection August 18th, 2009, fee of $20.
And as you previously testified to, the city would not have issued this application or this permit if there were any monies due and owing to the city on August the 14th, 2009, is that correct?
This would not have been issued, that's correct.
So as of August 14th, 2009, again, there was no money due and owing to the city of Alton on 1,000 Marie Street.
According to the city's own records, there was no money owed the city at that time.
Okay. So there, according to the city, Demada Riddlesberger owed them no money, correct?
Correct.
And how many many tenants have resided in 1000 Marie Street since August of 2009?
Oh, just one,
And who are those tenants?
Mr. and Mrs. Wyatt.
And just to be clear, when you called in December, they told you that nothing was due and owing, which would have included this address, is that correct? The city did? Have you ever tried to call the water company to find out information on any of your properties?
I did.
And what response do you get from the water company at that request?
Well, they'll ask what your name is, and there's some information like the account numbers, and if you call about someone else's bill, they say they cannot release that information due to privacy laws, so I cannot access that information. But I did try, and I was told I couldn't get the information.
Okay, can you please turn to Exhibit M? And can you identify that exhibit?
It's a billing transaction from Illinois Water, American Water.
And when was the first time you ever saw this billing transaction?
From the end of December, just recently when this objection was filed.
And for what address is this document relating to?
1000 Marie Street.
And did I in fact give you this document after it was given to me by Mr. Emmons?
Yes.
Okay. Were you aware that anyone can come up to the city and have these documents printed out?
If Illinois American Water says it violates people's privacy, why would I think the city would do it if the Illinois Water won't?
And can you read to me at the bottom of that page, there is actually a website. Can you read to me what that website address is?
Businesspartners.amwater.com.
And have you ever tried to actually go to that website to see if you can access this information on your own?
When I looked at this transaction statement, yes, I did.
So can you please turn to Exhibit N? Is this what popped up on your screen when you tried to access that website?
That's correct.
Can you identify this exhibit for?
Businesspartners.amwater.com.
And what does it state?
It works.
But it does not give you access to any of the information.
No, we can't access, no, it will not let us access individuals' personal accounts.
Can you please turn to Exhibit O? Can you identify this exhibit?
It's a rental contract that I use when renting to tenants.
And who are the tenants in regards to this specific contract?
Mr. and Mrs. Wyatt.
And when did they enter into this contract?
It was executed August 8, 2009. They took occupancy September 1st, 2009.
And according to this rental agreement between you and David and Sharon Wyatt, who is responsible for sewer and trash bills?
Mr. and Mrs. Wyatt.
And whose name is actually listed on those sewer and trash bills?
Mr. Wyatt's.
And to your knowledge, is there any city ordinance that forbids you from putting sewer and trash bills in the name of your tenant?
No.
And just like with Mr. Riddlesberger, were you able to call the water company and access the information on the Wyatt's account?
They wouldn't release it to me.
Were you ever the person that has actually incurred the cost for sewer or trash on 1000 Marie Street?
No, not when the Wyatts have lived there, no.
And who was the party that actually has incurred the expense of sewer and trash at 1000 Marie Street since 2009?
Mr. and Mrs. Wyatt.
Can you please turn to Exhibit P? Can you identify that exhibit?
This is a city from the state, a utility bill issued from the city.
And to what address is that utility bill issued?
1000 Marie Street.
And what name is that bill?
David Wyatt.
And what is the previous balance listed on that bill as of November 1st, 2012?
0.
And when is the next payment due?
Current charges through December 19th, 2012, due by January 9th, 2013.
So according to the city's bill, you were current on sewer and trash for 1000 Marie Street the day you filed on December 17th. Is that correct?
That's correct.
You already discussed the homestead tax exemption issues with Mr. Emmons.
Yes.
But just to clarify again, you never actually requested or filled out paperwork requesting that 1,000 Marie Street or 1255 9th Street have a homestead exemption remain on them, is that correct?
Correct.
And when you actually contacted the county assessor's office as to why those remained on there, what did they tell you?
I spoke with a lady named Lisa and Karen, and pretty much to the effect that with the amount of transaction that the county goes through, they don't have the manpower to check everything, so they just let them roll.
So they don't make any attempts to remove them, to contact you to make sure it should be on there? There's no attempt by the county made?
Objection here, Senator.
No.
The objection sustained.
Can you please turn to Exhibit R? This is the warranty that you referenced earlier in your testimony with Mr. Emmons in regards to 1,000 Marie Street.
Yes.
And can you please read the line, almost second to the bottom, that second to last paragraph?
Starting with hereby.
Yes.
Hereby releasing and waiving all rights under and by virtue of the homestead exemption laws of the state of Illinois.
And by this, were the previous owners saying that they no longer wanted that homestead exemption applied to them for that property?
Correct.
And then you never asked that it be reapplied?
Correct.
Ms. Williams, while we're there, is Exhibit Q coming later? I don't have one in this one.
Exhibit Q, there is no Exhibit Q that will be in there.
Okay.
And in fact, when you did go to Madison County, you asked for all bills and you asked to become current on all of your properties, is that correct?
That's correct.
And they issued the bills for 2010 and 2011 on the two properties that issued?
Correct.
And you paid those in full?
In full.
And the county has told you that you are now current, is that correct? From
That's
these
correct.
statements? When you made those payments, who were those payments made to?
I believe it was the county treasurer.
So they were made to Madison County.
That's correct. They were made to, the treasurer of Madison County.
Did you ever make a payment due to this homestead exemption issued to the city of Alton?
No.
On the bills, anything due to the city of Alton due to this homestead tax exemption issue?
No.
And no further questions at this time?
Please turn to Exhibit K.
I do not have an Exhibit K,
You don't have one?
unless that's one that's been added since we began.
No, it should be in
Do the other members of the electoral board,
White book.
White Book K? No.
there. Are they on?
They have it. Thank you. Sorry, thank you.
Is that your signature on the bottom of that exhibit?
Yes.
And what, it's a occupancy permit application?
Correct.
You see the names of the occupants of the, okay, see Damon Riddlespringer?
Mhm.
And in fact, in January 2009, there was an occupancy permit issued to the Riddlespringer family that you applied for.
The information on the top portion, the thing I signed is that they showed up and did the inspection on the house. The city adds this later. I'm not here when they put this on there.
So this is, does that help you that here's Damon Riddlespringer on an occupancy permit that was issued by the city of Alton?
Actually, it's kind of scary that the city would issue an occupancy permit to somebody I didn't rent to.
Yeah, and who water bills were sent to and water bills were paid, and you've never heard of the guy?
Never heard of them.
Okay.
They never lived in that property. And again,
Let's look at
it goes
Exhibit
in-
P, please. This shows this shows a zero balance as of November 1st, 2012, correct?
Correct.
And did you rely on this document to prove that Mr. Wyatt didn't owe any belongs to the city?
No, I counted on the comptroller's office. This just came afterwards, was verified with the comptroller's office.
Did you know when you first got this, or saw this document?
No, so it was just recently.
This bill wasn't even issued until after you filed your petition, nominating petition, correct?
I don't know when it was issued.
It's right there on it. It says
Current charges through 12/19, previous balance due through 11/1. I don't know when it went in the mail exactly, when it was paid January 4th on this swap. So I don't know when it was mailed or when it got out. Somewhere, it appears somewhere, if it's current charges, I would assume it went out before the 19th.
But you didn't rely on this anyway, right?
No, this just further shows what the city told me is accurate.
Okay, and that was Matt again.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Are you, everybody's been flirting around with this privacy issue. You made the statement that, if I understood you correctly, if the water company can't release information, the city can't or shouldn't be able to do so. Is
I
that
wouldn't be
correct?
surprised if they would repeat this private information.
Are you familiar at all with the Freedom of Information Act adopted by the state of Illinois?
Yes.
Okay. And what does that act provide?
Objection, that calls for a legal conclusion. Mr. Walker is not an expert in that field, and he should not have to testify.
Well, he's testified that he doesn't think the city should have been able to release that information to me, and he says he knows about it. Just as a general layman, I'm not asking for a legal. I'm not asking
You're
for a legal.
asking for
opinion.
what the Freedom of Information Act says, that is a legal conclusion.
Okay. Well, I'll withdraw that. I'll try again. What do you think it says?
I don't know. I mean, I can give you information.
It's an important act. I mean, it tells municipalities what they can and can't do as far as privacy and information.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to read from the statute, section 1.2. It says all records.
Objection, I have not seen any verification that this is in fact the statute itself. If you want to put the statute as an exhibit and we can look at it.
Here, take a look. Is it okay if I read it? Section 1.2 says all records in the custody or possession of a public body are presumed to be open to inspection or copying. Any public body that asserts that a record is exempt has the burden of proving by clear and convincing evidence that it is exempt. Does that mean anything? I mean, what does that mean to you?
You see, ask for information.
Okay, so there wasn't a privacy. I mean, water companies are different, right? They're not.
Are you saying
They're not
that
municipalities.
So you're saying that all
Objection, this is
comptrollers
becoming
office-
argumentative at this point
They said I
over
don't
legal
know.
conclusion.
The city's-
Brant,
Okay, you haven't made this objection, Ms. Williams, but I would be inclined to think this line is irrelevant. What he thinks about the Freedom of Information Act or privacy laws. Unless, Mr. Emmons, are you anticipating Ms. Williams is going to have some sort of a defense based on privacy something?
I think based upon his testimony that he said that he didn't think the city should have been releasing documents to him. He's made that comment that the water company didn't, so that he didn't think the city should. I'm anticipating that Ms. Williams is going to raise this. She's raised it in conversations with us.
Ms. Williams, is that part of your defense, that somehow the records of the city are private?
I don't know if I would call it as part of my defense. I think that it is an issue that may be raised as to the extent of the information that is freely given out. But as to say that it's a defense to anything, I wouldn't necessarily go that far.
Well, let's do this if the attorneys are agreeable. Let's find out what issue may be introduced into this hearing related to privacy. And if you wish to revisit questions with Mr. Walker after that time, you will be free to do so. At this time, it seems to me that the the question of privacy of records maintained by the city is not really yet relevant to anything. The records have come in, and there was no objection. So I don't know where you're going with that.
I'll move on.
All right, thank you.
As a landlord, you're aware that you have the option to have sewer and trash billed to you as the landlord, correct?
I was not aware of that.
Knowing that the city ever discussed that with you or talked to you about that?
No,
Are you members of, a member of any landlord groups?
no.
You quoted some language from the deed earlier. You made a comment that hereby releasing and waiving all rights ever and by virtue of the homestead exemption law of the state of Illinois. What do you think that means?
Remove the homestead exemption.
That's what it's telling the county to.
It was in the closing paper asking, to my knowledge, it should have been, it was asked to be taken off and never asked to be required.
Okay. What you're talking about is a deed signed by the Altons,
To remove.
where they release and waive their rights under the Homestead Act.
And I never asked for it back.
Okay. Do you know how you ask for the Homestead Act exemption?
When you do, if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I bought my house, I think they present you with documentation to close and make you fill it out, I think. But I don't remember, it's been a while since I purchased it, home for myself.
And you don't recall filling one of those out for these two properties?
I do not recall that, no.
Do you recall specifically whether you might have?
I do not.
Okay. You indicated that you're current on all money due to the city of Alton, correct?
That's correct.
Have you paid your city business license for 2013?
You know, I just got a,
Objection, that's completely irrelevant, it has nothing to do with these proceedings or any objection that's been raised. by-
What's credibility?
Again, it's an objection, it has nothing to do with the objection that you raised, and it's irrelevant to these proceedings.
I'll sustain the objection.
Nothing further.
I'm going to hand you what I've marked as Exhibit J. Can you identify this exhibit?
it's a rental application for property at Mayoral Street.
And who's the name on that rental application?
Andrea Riddles Spurger,
And what is the date on that rental application?
February 6th, 2009.
And if you please turn back to Exhibit L, which is the occupancy permit. What is the date on that occupancy permit or application thereof for the Riddlesburgers?
It's K.
Or K, I'm sorry.
February, it looks like February 4th was when the inspection was done.
And the date on the actual permit is January 29th, is that correct? So that's actually before Kendra Riddlesburger ever even applied to be a tenant at 1000 Marie.
That's
Is
correct.
that correct?
Yes.
So this goes to show that this information was added after your inspection, is that correct?
Yes.
And to be clear on a question that Mr. Emmons had asked you before, is it that you were not aware that you could ask to be a third party or on a tenant's account? Is that correct? You were not aware that you could be a third party on a tenant's account?
That's correct.
Okay. But you are aware that sewer and trash can be placed in your name on a building?
Yes, oh yes.
Oh, yes, okay, I just wanted to clear that up, that
Yes.
that's what you meant, that you know that sewer and trash can be placed in your name on any building, but that you were unaware that you could be a third party to it.
Correct.
Okay. I have no further questions this time.
Mr. Herman?
Please state your name for the record.
Stephanie Elliott,
Where do you reside?
922 Riley Avenue, Alton, Illinois.
Are you employed by the city of Alton?
Yes, I am.
In what capacity?
I'm the comptroller for the city of Alton.
How long have you been a comptroller?
13 years.
And what is the function of the comptroller then?
The comptroller's office is in charge of budgeting, payroll, liability, insurance, work comp, sewer and trash bill, and accounts payable.
You had the white book in front of you. Could you turn to Exhibit L, please? And that's a application for residential occupancy permit that Mr. Walker testified to. You were here in the room, you've already testified, correct? Okay. And it's my understanding that part of that process is to go to your office and you look to see whether or not there are delinquencies related to the property that the occupancy permit is being applied for, correct?
That's correct.
And you would have done that in this case?
Someone in the office, yes.
Okay. And that's the first process. Then you fill out a form, correct?
Correct.
And it either says that they owe some money or they don't.
Correct.
If they owe money, they go and pay it.
Correct.
Okay. You were also present when Ms. Metcalf was here and described the process whereby the water company would cease trying to collect on a specific account, correct?
Correct.
And she had testified that on one of the exhibits that there was a Damon Riddlespringer that on November the 25th of 2009, there was an entry in the water company's records that showed that a bad debt of $142.16 was written off by the water company on November 25th, 2009. Is that correct?
That's correct.
She also indicated that at that time, November the 25th, 2009, is when the water company tells the city of Alton that there's an account out here we're not trying to collect anymore and it's delinquent, correct?
Correct.
So when Mr. Walker comes into the office and there is a occupancy permit applied for on August 4th, 2009, is the city of Alton aware of that delinquency that's not written off for 3 more months by the water company?
We won't know that it's delinquent until after they send this to us.
Right, which in this case occurred in November of 2009.
It's always 90 days, I believe is what she said, after that date they will send this information. Yes.
Right, so when Mr. Walker was in the office in August of 2009, the city of Alton didn't know that there was a Damon Riddlespringer deficiency, correct?
We wouldn't have known. No.
No. There's also been some questions about Exhibit P. Did you go to that one? And we heard Ms. Metcalf testify that there's a transition here between the water company and the city of Alton sending out bills. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And is this the first bill that you would have sent out? Okay. And do you know when this bill would have been sent out?
I know that we started billing once a week, starting in the first week of December. And it says the current charge is at $12.19.12. It would have went out on that, I believe that's a Wednesday. It went out on that Wednesday or a Thursday or a Friday.
Okay, so it would have been on or about the
That
19th of December.
Yes.
Correct. Now, there's on the top of it says previous balance, November 1st, 2012, of 0.
Correct.
We also heard Ms. Metcalf testify that the information, the final information from the water company related to delinquent accounts was delivered to the city of Alton yesterday, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Did the city of Alton make any attempt to determine delinquencies as of November 1st, 2012, when they sent out this bill?
No, sir.
Okay. And is that because you didn't have the final information from the water company until yesterday?
We wouldn't have had that information until they sent it to us, so no.
Okay. So then, although it's on your bills, this previous balance of November 1st, 2012 isn't necessarily correct. Because you didn't, I mean,
As was said before, they billed us through October 31st. So anything that they would have billed us would have been on their books and not on ours as of yet. And so 11/1 to us, on our books, there was nothing.
nobody owed anything.
No, we started fresh
Right.
in November.
Okay. You heard Mr. Walker testify that he called your office in the week prior to filing his nominating petitions and asked whether or not he owed any money. Is that correct?
Yes,
And you also heard him testify that he talked to Matthew.
yes.
Can you tell us what day Matthew started working?
December 14th.
Okay, that was a Friday.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And on his, which was the Friday before the Monday when he filed his nominating petition?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, he started
That's the
working on the
question.
Friday before he filed his nominating petition on Monday morning.
Yes,
Right, so Matt had worked, his first day at work was the Friday before the petition was filed.
yes.
Do you recall whether you let him answer the phone and answer questions on the first day that he worked?
Our trainers, no, they didn't let him answer the phone the first, second, or third day.
So that his testimony that Matt told him that he didn't know anything is likely not accurate?
Yes.
Nothing further.
Ms. Elliott, is your position an elected position or are you appointed?
I'm appointed.
And who are you appointed by?
The mayor.
You report directly to?
The mayor.
Okay. And, I'm sorry, can you just tell me briefly, once again, what are your responsibilities as comptroller of the city of Alton?
The department, we take care of our budgets, accounts payable, work comp, liability insurance, payroll, sewer and trash billing.
So you are in charge of the sewer and trash billing?
Yes.
Were you also in charge of the transfer from Illinois American Water to the city of Alton?
Yes. It was a group of us.
Okay. And as the comptroller, you are responsible for the accuracy of those sewer and trash bills, is that right?
When they, yes.
Okay. And so when a person contacts your office, they should be able to rely on the fact that any sewer and trash billing is accurate if they're getting a response from your office, is that correct?
Yes.
And are the bills that are issued from your office, are they accurate bills?
Yes.
They are accurate bills. So again, if I have you look at Exhibit P, is that an accurate bill?
Yes.
So as of November 1st, 2012, Mr. Walker owed no money to the city of Alton, is that correct?
On our books, yes.
So on your bill issued by the city, Mr. Walker owed no money on November 1st, 2000.
On our bill, yes.
Okay. And the next billing statement wasn't until January 9th, is that correct?
That's correct.
So on December 17th, he owed no money to the city of Alton, is that correct?
Only according to the water company, we did.
Okay. Do you understand by issuing these bills that you were representing to everyone, and as you said, your bills are accurate, that people owe no money to the city anymore? Do you understand that?
I'm sorry.
Do you understand that by issuing this bill, which you have declared is accurate, you have told to every person getting a bill that as of November 1st, if it says no balance, there's nothing owed to the city, is that correct?
Objection, that calls for a legal conclusion. I don't think that's really what it means. I mean, if you're suggesting that they can't go back and...
Well, she's the comptroller, she did these bills, so she should be able to testify to the meaning of zero balance.
Well, she did testify to it, that as of the city of Alton on that date, but then weren't aware of any delinquencies
So
as of that date, because the water company hadn't given them the information. That's it.
I would ask that Mr. Emmett stop testifying at this point. Thank you.
Not an objection.
Well, you do have an objection, and as I understand the question and the objection, Ms. Williams is trying to ask Stephanie Elliott if it means that they do not owe any money if that bill went out showing a balance forward of 0. I believe Mrs. Elliott has already answered that question by saying the billing that went out reflected only what was in the new city billing, and that the water billing information was not yet available. Subject to, well, I think that has been asked and answered.
I'll move on. Ms. Elliott, did you receive, and this was informally done, or an amended request for record subpoena from me in regards to this case?
Yes, Cheryl gave it to me.
And did you then, in response to that, provide a letter to me and along with some documentation?
Yes.
So I'm going to hand you what I have marked as Exhibit B. Is this in fact the letter that you sent to me?
Yes.
Can you please refer to the second page of the exhibit?
Which exhibit is this?
It's B, I'm sorry.
D as in boy,
B.
D as in dog.
What?
D?
B as in violin.
Thank you.
Oh, B.
Can you refer to paragraph 4D on the second page?
4B.
D as in dog
Okay, sorry.
on page 2.
Uh-huh.
And what is your response to in that paragraph?
It says apparently no correspondence has been sent to Brant Walker regarding the issues of 4D.
And in the request that I sent to you, was paragraph 4D asking for any correspondence sent to Mr. Walker in regards to either 606 East 7th Street or 1000 Marie Street from your office?
I'm going to look it up because I'm sorry.
That's fine. I believe it's Exhibit 8
8.
in the council record.
And that I don't think you have there. Could you give her a copy of that, Megan? Or whoever has one?
Do you have it? Is that the amended record?
V, as in Victor. Oh, let's see.
I'm sorry.
You have a that you handed out earlier.
All right, you had a, is this a U or a V on this?
That's a U.
That's a U.
That one? Yes, that one. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So in regards to this, you're acknowledging that no correspondence was sent from your office to Mr. Walker at all in regards to 606 East 7th Street or 1000 Marie Street, is that correct?
Except for the bills, yes.
Except for the bill. And that bill is, what, this bill marked as Exhibit P wasn't sent in because it was sent to the Wyatt, but this same bill, is that what you're referring to when you say bill? Is this the only bill that's been issued, Exhibit P?
Right.
Okay, just so we're clear. Did you notify anyone? According to you, no notification was sent. So how were citizens notified of the fact that this bill is inaccurate as to a previous balance?
We didn't send anything out, no.
You sent nothing out to clarify.
Because the last bill that they received from the water company would have been through October 31st. And that would have let them know that they did owe that bill to the water company as well as the city.
And I believe is what we had as exhibit that was marked U, that Ms. Metcalf read into the record. Is exhibit U up there? That's the notification that the water company gave the citizens regarding the switchover of the bills. In that notification, does it tell people that past due balances will remain on the Illinois water's bill?
No, it doesn't say that.
And nothing was sent by the city giving that notification either, is that correct? So when people receive these bills, do they have the right to rely on what is sent from your office?
Yes.
They do have the right to rely on that. So someone has the right to rely from what you're telling them, because they've been given no other notification, that as of November 1st, nothing is due to the city.
If it's on the city's bill, no. Water company, yes.
But no one was given notification of the difference between those two bills. Is that correct? There was
There
no
didn't need to be
notification of
one.
that.
November 1st was the date that it says that we would start billing. October 31st was the last of this bill. If you received this bill in the mail, you would know that you were obligated to pay the bill.
I understand. What I'm saying is your bill says there's a zero balance. And as Ms. Metcalf previously testified to, the balances that were due and owing as of November 1st were available to the city through their electronic system that you have in your office. So why would you put zero balance when you had available to you that information?
Because the information was not available to us to say that it was written off. That's the process that we use in order to collect delinquent bills from people.
But your
90 days.
previous balance says zero. So even if it's not delinquent, if something's either just past due but not delinquent, you still had notice of that. Is that correct through that electronic system?
If you want to look through 11,000 bills, yes.
Okay, so the city just chose to send out inaccurate bills because it was too time consuming?
It wasn't inaccurate. It was the truth. November 1st,
Then why
they
was
did
no
not.
notification
November 1st,
given
I'm
to
sorry,
citizens?
Mr. Wyatt.
Why was no notification given to a citizen to explain this process?
Because the water bill said they would explain the process, and it was done on the water bill. If your water bill is due, you owe it.
But
If your
there
water
was,
bill is due, you owe it.
so on the water bill, if there's a past due balance, what you're saying is that your bill is inaccurate.
No.
I'm sorry, I
Asked
think
and
we,
answered. I mean,
yeah, we kind of beat that a few times.
So,
I'm confused now because
in regards to the electronic system, I'll have you turn to Exhibit M in the book, white book.
yes.
Can you access this system at any time in
Yes.
your office? Okay. And you previously testified to the fact that when Mr. Walker came in and got an occupancy permit in August of 2009, that there was no way that you would have been able to tell him if money was due and owing. Is that correct?
Not that anything, I didn't say it due and owing, but anything that was delinquent.
Okay, so if you turn to what's marked as page 4,
Okay.
and under where it says Demad Riddlesberger,
Uh-huh.
so he got an occupancy permit issued to him on August 14th. If you look back at your own ledger, July 17th, it shows there was a balance due and owing. So why wasn't he requested to pay that at that time?
Only way he would be requested to pay this, Mr. Walker, if he had come in and tried to get an occupancy permit.
And he did.
Oh, he
So
did
when
on this date?
he came in on the 14th of August, which was after that date, and it was issued. So if you guys tell him nothing's due and owing and issue an occupancy permit, how is he supposed to know that something is due and owing on his property?
I'm gonna be honest with you, I cannot say whether or not it was or not unless you have that slip that we give out to say that whether or not it was due or not.
So the application for occupancy permit, would that have been, would somebody even have gone to do that inspection if anything was due and owing on the city? Is that even allowed?
If you want, you can come anytime and ask about this, that's no problem. But if you were trying to get an occupancy permit, you would have come to my office, someone in my office would have filled out a sheet for you. If there was anything that was delinquent or anything that was current, they would have put it on the sheet. You would have took your delinquent over to the treasurer's office and paid it, or you could go over and say, I'm going upstairs to building and zoning to acquire another permit. Can I just pay it all at one time? They would have said yes. then you would have, they would have called upstairs to say that you're on your way up. Or if it was something that was really delinquent, you would have just paid it, and then you would have gone on, and then you'd take the business upstairs.
So the fact that it passed, the occupancy permit, it shows that it passed. If you look at Exhibit L, it passed. This would not have happened if anything was due and owing.
If anything was delinquent, it wouldn't have.
Okay, so according to the city's own records, as of August of 2009, nothing was due and owing to the city on 1000 Marie Street.
As of August 9th,
This was issued on the 14th of August.
Which was, what was issued on the 14th?
This occupancy permit. This permit that you're looking at on Exhibit L, if you look at the date on it, the inspection date was...
Inspection was on the 18th.
Right. And it passed. So none of that would have been able to happen had there been anything due and owing to the city.
And then payment made to Water Authority. It says 8/20, but he would have had to have paid this, and it wouldn't have hit the water company's books until a couple of days later.
Okay, but again, what
So
I'm
if
asking
you look at
is...
that, you'll see that it wasn't really delinquent. I'm sorry.
Again, what I'm trying to get to is, the city will not issue an occupancy permit if money is due and owing. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Okay, so again, since the city issued this, the presumption is there's no money due and owing. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's all I was trying to get to.
I'm sorry.
No, thank you. You're doing fine. Thank you. When did you guys become aware that this switchover was going to happen between Illinois American Water to billing back to the city?
I don't remember the exact date. I'm sorry. I don't.
Did you have a year's notice? Did you have 6 months notice?
It was.
Can you just
I
estimate?
don't remember.
Can you estimate for me about how long you guys had? I know it's not perfect, but
I know there is something, I'm sorry, there's something on record to say when it happened. I don't remember.
but you guys have had time to
Yeah.
prepare and to
Yes,
get ready.
we've been trying.
So in that preparation to get ready for this transfer, what procedures were put in place to make sure that you could check those 11,000 bills to make sure that when you guys started billing, we can have accurate bills? What procedures were put in place to do that?
Well, I wish that Cheryl Engel was here because she was the person who took care of that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But
she
as
made
for-
the procedure up. She
Okay,
did
but
the
as-
procedure. She just kept me notified of what they were doing, but as for the total procedure, I do not know.
But you had to sign off on that procedure as a comptroller.
Well, the mayor signed off on it because it was a change for the whole city.
Okay, so the mayor's the one that actually approved the procedure and the fact that apparently you guys didn't have time to check these 11,000 accounts to make sure your bills were accurate.
Well, not to say it like that. It's just the fact that our process for, I'm saying too much, but process of us doing this is that if someone comes in, and this is how we catch them, because I don't know if anybody else knows, but we've lost a lot of people. And everybody knows that, and everybody's felt that. And so to think that we're incompetent, because that's what it sounds like you're saying to us, we are not. Because we worked with what we had to work with. We did the best that we could do with what we could do. The information that we had, we used it when it came to play. What the information was and the best way for us to do our job, if someone came in and asked for a permit, that was the way to go and check to see if somebody owed something to us. That way, we knew for sure that you couldn't get past us, that you had to pay.
And you acknowledge that if something was due on, you just wouldn't issue the permit?
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. And so, and with your water bills that were issued, with the information you had at the time, you guys issued the bill saying 0 balance?
Correct.
If I have you refer back to Exhibit M, this information was obtained by Mr. Emmons, and it was given to me. If anybody walks into your office, anybody obtain this information?
If anybody walks in, the owner,
If the
Objection,
owner,
first of all, there's no foundation, I didn't get it from the controller's office, that's not where I got it.
I can
So
ask Cindy Roth
Yeah.
if you would prefer.
Yeah,
if that's where you
that's where I
prefer.
got it.
Okay. Just in reference to this document, are you aware of what this is? And does your office have access to these records?
yes.
Okay. If an individual citizen comes in off the street and requests this record, do you turn that over?
Only if they, no, we don't.
You do not turn
Only
it
if it's the
over?
owner or it's the person in question,
Okay.
unless they do it for you.
Unless they do it for you. Okay, thank you. I'm gonna hand to you what I have marked as Exhibit W. I'll hand them out, they're not in your books yet. Can you identify this exhibit for me? Can you identify what that is?
It's a water shut-off agreement for non-payment of sewer collection and treatment charges.
And is that the agreement that the city made with Illinois American Water on the procedure as to how someone's water should be shut off if they were behind in a sewer bill?
Yes, it was signed.
And if you turn to page 7, does that give the actual procedure as to notification on the shut off of water?
Since it's new, we haven't done it, but I'm going to say.
So according to that document, who would provide notice to, according to the document, the landowner should be given notice even if his name is not on the bill. Is that correct?
This would go to the person that is in the building, in the residence.
And does it also say in parentheses that the landowner will be informed by the city of Alton?
The Illinois American Water Company.
Can I interject?
says-
Did I catch, Mrs. Elliott, this has not been utilized yet?
No, it hasn't.
Okay.
So you haven't actually tried to turn off anyone's? What was the process, I guess, then prior to that agreement? What would you do to turn off someone's water?
I wish basically, because I didn't do it and someone else did, we would give them, I'm sorry, it's been a while.
You're just not aware of the procedure?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
So would the procedure have presumably been the same as to that agreement on who would have been notified that water was being shut off to?
There were a couple of different things in here, but yeah.
Presumably,
Basically.
it would have been the same, okay.
What time frame were you talking about? I think there was a disconnect there. Mrs. Elliott, what time frame were you talking about when the city might have been involved in
I'm
notifying
thinking
to shut
about
off
before
water?
the water company took it over, we were doing that process, that procedure.
So-
We weren't having people's water shut off. Yeah.
Several years ago.
Yeah, that was like in 2008.
Okay.
And then when the water company took this over, is that when this procedure was put in place as to the communication, or when did that?
No, this right here just came about,
Okay.
just in,
So,
because it was for when we start taking it over again, that's what this procedure is for.
and so when the water company was controlling the water and the sewer and the trash building, how, you have no idea the procedure as to shut water
That
off?
would be the water companies.
Objection, relevancy, I let her go for a while, I don't know where we're going at.
Again,
And
Ms.
I'll,
Williams, I don't know if this is helpful, I don't mean to,
no,
but
I
during
can-
the time the water company was doing the billing, the city was not involved in shutting off water.
Okay.
Okay?
And so if the city wasn't involved in that, what did the city do while the water company was responsible for the billing to ensure that the water company was in fact collecting on these bills? What was being done to ensure that?
Well, you can add, well, what we got was, excuse me, each month, I know that the treasurer's office received the funds from trash and sewer. We had this sheet we could go on if someone came in and needed information, whether they called in or they came in, whether they just wanted to know if someone owed them something, if they were due.
And so you didn't really control or have in your possession any kind of auditing of what the sewer company was doing to collect?
The water company?
The water company,
They gave us we would get a report at the end of each month. And that's how we gauged on what we were receiving and what we weren't.
And whose responsibility was it to ensure that the water company was going after people for their bills?
It was someone in the office. She would make sure if somebody was or wasn't. It was the obligation of the water company to go after the people for that. That's what the agreement was for.
Ms. Thomas, right, testimony about this, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
Please state your name for the record.
My name is Cynthia, or Cindy Roth,
And where do you reside?
920 Osage Street, Alton, Illinois.
And are you employed by the city of Alton?
Yes, I am.
In what capacity?
I am the treasurer.
And how long have you been the treasurer?
I've been in that capacity since December of '04,
And how long have you worked in the treasurer's office?
since December of 1976.
Could you refer to schedule exhibit A to the white book? Clear something up. Look at page 4. That's what Williams was asking. This is Elliot. And see down here, we're looking at the bottom where in regard to 1000 Marie Street in Maine and Riddle Springs, see where I am. It appears that there was a payment made on August 20th, 2009 in the amount of $35.95. Is that correct?
That's what it appears.
And then there was a balance a couple lines down of $35.95 that was entered on July 17th, 2009, correct?
17, yes.
Okay. So the occupancy permit was requested on August 9th. And if somebody looked at this record, they'd see that the $35.95 was owed, and that's what we can surmise, that the $35.95 was paid when Mr. Walker got the occupancy permit for the property, correct? Now, this other amount that's unpaid as of today is, these represent charges that occurred and delinquencies that were reported to the city after August 9th, 2009. Correct?
Correct.
You were here when Mrs. Metcalf testified that we talked about exhibit 11 in the black book, and there was an entry. Holy shit! There was an entry we talked about on November the 25th, 2009, and that corresponds to the entry on Exhibit M. There's an 11/25/2009 date, correct? Right? Go back where you were.
Okay. Page 4. Okay.
Okay, and there's on 11/25/09, there was a bad debt from the water company to City of Alton. So this other amount that's shown on Mr. Riddlesprier's account, the City of Alton wouldn't have had that information on August the 9th when Mr. Walker came in for an occupancy permit.
Correct. And just because there's a balance does not mean it's a delinquent balance. It could have been a current balance.
Right.
without knowing the whole history.
Right, and the question, to Mrs. Elliott was, well, there wasn't anything else owed, and but that's not really the facts, because we don't have information from the water company until well after
Correct.
that amount was due and owing.
Over 90 days.
Right. There were questions asked about requests for information such as what we're looking at, Exhibit M. And, I got that from your office, correct? Did I fill out a Freedom of Information Act request?
No.
And what's your office's policy regarding those records?
My policy is, the office staff knows that if they are going to receive the information through a Freedom of Information request anyway, to just give it to the citizen that is requesting it, because why go through the hassle?
Right. And earlier you heard me read from the actual act itself that says these municipal records should be available for copying and inspection by the public.
I've always been told that, yes.
Okay, and when you say you've been told that, is that basically through the city attorney's
Yes.
office? And this has been discussed on more than one occasion?
Yes, numerous times.
I mean, it's impractical to think that every document that the Illinois Act makes available to the public needs to be the subject of a Freedom of Information Act request.
So we've been told, give the information.
Okay. And I don't know, are you aware of in 2010, a municipality asked this specific question of the Illinois Attorney General's office? The Illinois Attorney General office said that, no, that's a kind of record that you need to make available to
I'm
the
going to
public.
make an objection to this reference unless he actually has the actual document to prove. The best evidence would be the actual document itself.
I asked her if she was aware of it. She can answer that.
I am not aware of it, but Mr. Shrimp keeps us updated on changes such as that.
Okay. And as far as you know...
You withdraw your objection, given that answer?
I'll cross on this issue.
Okay.
I'll withdraw the objection.
Okay. You heard Mrs. Metcalf's testimony that the records indicate that on December 17th, 2012, at the time of the filing of Mr. Walker's nominating petitions, that his tenant, David Wyatt, owed some amount for the property located at 1000 Marie Street in Alton, Illinois. Is that correct? And have you researched that same issue?
I've seen some of the paperwork.
Yes, I mean, and you can verify that that is in fact the case as far as...
The reports, yes.
Okay. And the records that you have available are the same records that Mrs. Metcalf testified to and about in her testimony?
Yes.
Because you get the records from the water company.
Yes.
Were you at all, are you involved in this issue of the turnover of delinquent accounts by the water company yesterday? Or does that impact on what you do in your office?
I am made aware of that, yes.
Okay, but it doesn't impact the collection process itself, though?
No.
And any building comes out of the controller's office, not yours?
Correct.
No further questions?
Can you explain to me what your responsibilities are as treasurer?
As treasurer, I'm responsible for the collection of any monies owed to the city.
And whenever you receive a payment on those monies, is there a record made of those payments?
Yes.
And is that record then given to the comptroller's office to make sure that what you received in their bills correlate?
That record is put through software, and that software is available to the comptroller's office, yes.
And you heard the testimony of Ms. Metcalf, and she testified to the fact that you guys always have available to you all current amounts due and owing to the city on this ledger that they have through whatever electronic system?
We see trash and sewer bills, yes.
Okay. And so those are available to you at all times. You can at any point get on that system and look up an address to see if any money is due and owing.
And sewer and trash.
And sewer and
yes.
trash, yes. And when there is a past due amount that's due and owing, is that Ms. Elliott's responsibility to ensure that it gets paid, or is that your responsibility as treasurer for any past due bills?
You'd have to tell me an exact date and time with the transition going on.
So let's say prior to the transition, when the water company is sending the information on the bills, was it the water company's responsibility just to inform you guys of what was being done, or did the city have any responsibility in making sure that bills were getting paid?
We looked up past due charges. If someone came in for any type of permit, it was not added to any type of a delinquency until it was charged off, which was over 90 days from the water company.
And when you referred to something earlier as bad debt, or I think Mr. Emmons referred to it as bad debt in regards to Mr. Riddlesberger, what does the city do with that? It shows a zero balance on the city's record. So what's actually done with that bad debt? Is it owed to the city any longer?
I would have the capability to answer that question.
So if we look at Exhibit M, if you turn to page 4 again, Samad Riddlesberger, it shows his balance as of November 25th as zero. So in your records, does it show that balance is zero?
These are not my records.
From the water company records, it shows the balance is zero. Is that correct as of 25th?
I see a zero balance on the report, yes.
Okay. So from the report that the water company then gives to you as the treasurer, would you consider the balance zero owed to the city?
November 25th, this balance was zero.
So on November 25th of 2009, the balance was zero and nothing was due and owing, according to this ledger.
According to the ledger.
And you use these ledgers to determine what is due and owing to you from Illinois American Water and the customer.
We use a screenshot, yes.
Of this. Okay. And you also testified to the fact that with this, when somebody comes in and applies for a permit and they come to your office to pay anything due and owing, you tell them what's due, they pay it, the permit is issued.
I do not. Comptroller's office.
They will issue, but do they come to you to make the payment?
They make the payment in my office.
So if somebody makes a payment, is it told to them that now the account is current?
If someone makes a payment, we are collecting anything that is delinquent. We also, the comptroller's office in most cases states what is current. We do not make a tenant or a landlord pay what is current. That is not past due at the time. We are only responsible for collecting past due.
Okay, so in regards to this Samad Riddlesberger, as of the date that the permit was issued, he was current.
Is that the same page we're on?
Yes, yes.
On November 25th, 2009, he had a balance of zero in his account.
So when Mr. Walker filed his nominating petition in December 17th of this year, there was a zero balance in regards to Samad Riddlesberger at 1000 Marie Street. Is that correct?
I do not know. I'm stating 11/25/09, he had a zero balance.
And there's no other balances on 1000 Marie Street for Samad Riddlesberger after that date. Is that correct?
I don't care who the tenant is. I'm just worried about the balance on the property.
And I'm asking because in the allegations, the objection, it states there was a balance due and owing for Samad Riddlesberger that was owed to the city on December 17th. That was the allegation itself. So I'm just trying to clarify that according to these records that you used, actually there was no balance due and owing on Samad Riddlesberger.
I'm not concerned about a name. We stated there was a balance due on 1000 Marie Street.
Correct. Okay, I will move on. Can you turn to Exhibit P for me?
Exhibit what?
P. Is that a bill in the name of David Wyatt for 1000 Marie Street?
Yes, yes.
And does it have your paid stamp on it,
Paid January 4th, 2013.
and that was prior to the due date of January 9th.
Yes.
By stamping this paid, are you acknowledging that the bill is paid in full?
It shows through my register that he paid $34.10. Yes.
Okay. And by acknowledging receipt of this bill and by stamping it paid in full, are you acknowledging that this is a true and accurate bill issued by the city of Alton?
I'm acknowledging that he paid $34.10.
Will you accept payment on a bill that you do not believe is accurate?
I will accept payment from anybody who's willing to give me payment.
By acknowledging this debt in general that is owed to the city from this bill, do you believe that you are acknowledging that the bill is true and accurate? To
To
your
the best
knowledge,
of my knowledge.
the bill is true and accurate. Thank you. Is there any kind of audit that is done between the city of Alton and Illinois American Water to make sure that these printouts are true and accurate and the city of Alton is appropriately receiving the funds they should be?
I scroll through the information that comes with each payment to say I can vouch for 12,000 accounts. That is impossible.
Okay. So, because for instance, with Mr. Walker's 6060 7th Street, as we've already verified, the bill, the information issued from your office was actually inaccurate. That was given from the water company.
That was the water company information.
Right. But it's what you rely on and what you actually turned over that this petition was based off of.
The information came from the water company.
Right. Can you acknowledge that that information is true?
From the water company, that is the information they gave to me.
Can you say or not if it is true information, true and accurate?
I cannot vouch for the water company's accuracy.
Okay. So as far as you know, the ledgers that are on 1000 Marie Street are inaccurate because you cannot vouch that they are accurate as to amounts due and owing.
I didn't follow that question. Could you restate that?
1000 Marie Street, Exhibit M, is the ledger from the water company. And you said that you cannot vouch for the accuracy of the water company's statements. So are you telling me that you cannot vouch that that statement is true, that money is due and owing?
I can only vouch for what records are available to me. That was the record at the time that was available to me.
Okay. And if we look at Exhibit H, which is also a billing statement from Illinois American Water that came from your office, it has been acknowledged that this is actually inaccurate. Were you here for that testimony?
I was here, but I did not have the paperwork in front of me, so I cannot follow that, no.
Okay. So this is based on 6060 7th Street. Do you see that address?
Yes.
And did you hear that Mr. Groshon and Mr. Emmons actually withdrew their objection, acknowledging that no money
I
was
did
due?
hear that, yes.
Okay. But according to the printout that the water company gives to you, it shows there is a balance due and owing.
Yes.
So this is inaccurate. Is that correct?
Once again, that was for the attorneys to decide and for Mr. Groshon to decide.
Okay. And you testified that you do not require a Freedom of Information Act request before releasing information. Is that correct?
Not if it's public information.
And Mr. Emmons alluded to a decision from the Office of the Attorney General. I actually do have a copy of it here with me, so I don't have copies for everybody.
I'm not, well, go ahead.
Mr. Emmons' assertion that these documents can be given out freely, I would disagree with. And the document that he alludes to, I believe actually clarifies that information should be redacted.
Well, the question that was put to Mrs. Roth that I let go ahead, I think, over objection, was that, was she aware of a certain Attorney General opinion? She answered she was not. As far as what is the law with regard to
these issues. I think that's better addressed in your briefs. I believe you both wish to submit.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you.
My question to you then is, when you release this information, is any information redacted, such as account numbers, names, or addresses before it's turned over?
No.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
I just want to clear up one thing I think you misunderstood. Go back to Exhibit M and page 4. Again, these are water company records. And what the water company did on November 25th was they wrote off $21.28. There was not a payment of that amount, correct?
Managed contract means that was done by them.
Right, so, I mean, nobody paid that amount. The water company wrote it off of their books.
Yes.
And it's still, therefore that 2128 is reported to the city of Alton, and it becomes a debt still owed to the city of Alton, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
And to clarify that further, what information is, or what notice is ever given out that that is still due and owing? How would someone know that?
Again, what date and time are you speaking of?
So anytime after November 25th, 2009, how can someone come to get the information that money is due and owing when the water company is issuing bills saying nothing's due and owing, it's written off?
I can't answer fully, but we usually try to collect things when someone comes in for any kind of permit.
So in this case, since Mr. Walker had already came in for the permit, it was issued, new tenants were residing in this residence at this time, there's no way he could have known at all that this money was due and owing.
No, but he is the owner of the property, and as the owner of the property, he is well aware that he's responsible for any sewer and trash left behind by a tenant.
Was any information ever relayed to Mr. Walker from your office about this?
No, it's his responsibility to find out from us if he has anything due and owing from a tenant.
And even though he wasn't aware this tenant was in there, and no notice was given to him, and he came here and he paid the bill that was owed, according to your records, or the water company's records, the city's still going to say, well, Mr. Walker, you can't trust what we tell you?
I'm not following your question.
Objection.
I'll withdraw the question. What is a person to do in order to obtain this information if they have current tenants that have been in a residence for 3 years?
I met more than twice with landlords myself, and we explained to them when this process went over to the water company that they would need to be responsible to either set up something with the water company, such as the disclosure, or they would need to call constantly and check, because when a tenant left, they would be responsible. We had many landlords who went ahead and did that. As a landlord, I would think you would put it in your lease agreement that they have to sign over that third-party agreement.
So, as far as Mr. Walker knew, because he had tenants move in August, he had a new tenant in there. He did everything he was supposed to do under the city code. He came in, he got an occupancy permit. The city told him, you're current, everything's fine. He has a new tenant come in who has water put in their name, and there's bills as of August in their name. What is he supposed to do when he's done everything that the city has asked him to do?
I can't answer for Mr. Walker.
What would you advise someone to do when they have done everything that the city has asked them to do?
Put the water, sewer, and trash bill in their own name so that they know if it's paid or not.
And are you aware of any ordinance that requires that to be done?
I'm just aware that they are responsible for sewer and trash.
But there's nothing forbidding a landlord from having sewer and trash in a tenant's name.
No.
And you're familiar with Mr. Walker and him coming to your office, is that correct?
Many times.
And whenever he's asked to pay a bill, has he ever said, no, I won't pay it to you?
All our landlords pay their bill in order to get their permit.
Okay, so he's always paid a bill when it's been asked of him to pay it.
I can't vouch for every time he's been there. I can't recollect those.
So any time that you can't recollect, you don't remember him ever saying, no, I'm not going to pay it.
I don't recollect every conversation.
I have no question.
Nothing further.
I will ask then for a motion to recess this hearing to reconvene on next Wednesday. Madam Clerk, what is that date?
January 30th.
January 30th at 10 a.m.
So moved.
Mr. Fleming made a motion, seconded by Mr. Britt, to recess to reconvene on Wednesday, January 30th, 2013 at 10 a.m. in the Alton City Council chambers. Mr. Fleming made that motion, seconded by Mr. Britt. All in favor? All opposed? Ayes, carry it.